Welcome. This week we're going to be celebrating Independence Day, and we're super excited to talk about it. I'm Adam Anderson, owner and founder of WealthGuard Advisors.
And I'm Blake Anderson, certified financial planner. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. Of course, I love America and all that it stands for, and I'm so excited that we get together and have barbecues and play and have fun on the 4th of July to celebrate our nation's independence. But I want to talk about something that most people don't even realize, that there was two revolutions in 1776, not just the American Revolution, but an economic revolution spurred on by a philosopher out of Scotland named Adam Smith. He wrote a book called The Wealth of Nations, and it was published in March of 1776, and it revolutionized economics. He is the father of economics, actually, and I want to talk a little bit about him today. Blake, you read Wealth of Nations a long time ago. What do you remember?
Yeah, so I actually started my insight into finance and economics by reading Wealth of Nations back early on in high school and really enjoyed it. It's a relatively easy read for the first economics textbook. So if you're interested, take a look. But basically, he espouses this idea that the wealth of a nation isn't tied to gold, which was the standard of mercantilism, which was the previous standard. That's what, the British Empire, the colonial empires were all based off of acquiring gold. Where he said, no, the wealth of a nation is in the productive capacity of its citizens, which is how we've operated basically ever since. And I think America really benefited by coming about and building the structure with these new ideas in mind. So that's the main idea there.
Yeah, so we wanted political independence from a king. He was talking about economic independence from a king. So we were all looking for independence from a king. Adam Smith did argue that individuals are free to pursue their own economic self-interests. And that is such a key component that's similar to what we were fighting for in America, that we wanted independence to pursue our own dreams. And like Blake talked about, that is us having freedom of economic development. And when people are free to pursue their own economic self-interest, they lift up society as a whole. Adam Smith called it the invisible hand. And it's become the bedrock of our American economic engine. Before the revolution, about 90% of the population was in poverty. Today, I'd say that at least in America, 99% aren't in poverty. I mean, people may say that, but if you go to other parts of the world, we don't even know what poverty looks like. I mean, our homeless people live better than most people in lots of other parts of the world. So talking about Adam Smith economics and how important it was to our nation, I want to talk about how we've shifted in our freedom to invest from what it was like when I first got into this business to what it is now. Because when I first started in the business in 1997, most people had to go through an exclusive country club type of experience to get information and to trade, and trades were very expensive. We've experienced in the last 30 years the democratization of investing. A person, you could get information on any stock at any time instantly, and it's ubiquitous out there. There's so much information. Some people argue there's too much information, and you could trade for nothing. Matter of fact, there's companies out there that will pay you to open an account to trade. So you don't even need to have money to trade these days. And they have fractional shares. You can have $5. So the democratization of investing really makes it open up to all people to invest. Of course, we believe in Adam Smith's economics of division of labor. And if you're good at fixing cars, then maybe you shouldn't be spending a lot of time on investments. I don't fix your car and investments. That's division of labor. We focus on our strengths.
I would highlight that, with the added freedom and democratization of investing that's come about over the last really 10 years, maybe, that it's been really open to public retail investors, we call it. That comes with added responsibility as well. Just like with our freedoms here in America, we have responsibilities that come along with that, where we're responsible to vote and be informed in our voting. Otherwise, democracy doesn't really work. Similar with investing, if you're not, putting a little bit of work in and fulfilling your responsibility to invest responsibly, it doesn't really work either. So that's something to keep in mind as, it is becoming increasingly accessible to get into investing, to start investing, which is amazing and great. It also puts the onus on the individual to be responsible with that investing.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, information and free trading is ubiquitous, but wisdom doesn't necessarily come with that, and that's something that has to be learned. Another thing I want to talk about in America, at least at worldwide these days, because of the internet, we have access to education completely. I mean, you could go to Khan Academy for free and learn all the sciences, and you could learn everything. Everything is at our disposal. I look at our founding fathers. Thomas Jefferson and a lot of these, Alexander Hamilton, they were in their early 20s when they wrote the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. These guys were super young. They were so smart. I'm a little concerned about our population. We have all the information in the world available to us, and what are we doing? We're crushing candies or something. There's so much information out there available to us that we need to access to strengthen ourselves and our world. I'd argue that most kids, most younger generation, probably know more about Karl Marx than they know about Adam Smith. And that's unfortunate because Adam Smith economics has brought more wealth and prosperity to the world than any other economic structure, whereas communism has brought more death and despair to the world. So with that being said, want to talk about a few stocks for our Independence Day? Because I'm looking for the S&P 500 going to 7,600 before the end of the week. What do you think, Blake? Can we do it?
It's about 2.5% move there from where it's at the end of the day today, which we've seen many times. So I won't say it won't happen. It is a short week. Markets are closed on Friday for Independence Day observed. So it would be a bit of a jump to get there, but it's not out of the picture. And it would be nice to see for sure.
Hey, Blake, did you have one of our great American companies that you wanted to highlight today?
Yeah, talking about holidays, there's another great holiday that we just had. It's Prime Day.
Oh my goodness, not Prime Day.
Yes, the holiday to consumerism.
I think I live with Maximus Prime, or what's the Transformer? Primus Max?
Yeah, Optimus Prime.
Yeah, that's my wife. I call her Optimus Prime.
So yeah, looking at Amazon, it had a really rough month. It was at all-time high back in May, and then it just had a really steep collapse until basically Friday, when they put out their Prime Day estimates, and they had 26 billion of total spending in Prime Day, and really this is becoming another key insight into the health of the economy, just Prime Day spending numbers. And we're seeing this replicated. Target's doing a similar sale, Walmart's doing a similar sale in a similar time frame. So this is just, you talk about democratization of investments. It's no longer waiting for government reports. Now we get reports from Amazon on how well Prime Day did. And it did very well, which is why we're seeing a turnaround today.
Yeah, always a good investment, a good long-term hold in a great American company. Here's a guy, I love these stories, who started off selling used college books online. And he built it into Amazon, this amazing economic consumer discretionary shopping service. It's amazing. Here is a guy who had a dream in America, and he turned it into a trillion-dollar company now, I think. It's huge. I just think it's so great. There's no excuse, really. I hear people saying it's just so hard for the youth to today. I don't believe that. Now, we have a neighbor here that has a little pizza place, and he came here from another country, and he, about 4 or 5 years ago, and he started driving Uber, and now he's got a chain of pizza places, and he's doing pretty good. So it's like that entrepreneurial spirit, for some reason, maybe not my generation, maybe the Blake's generation has maybe lost that, feeling like they were just entitled to a good job or something like that. But people that come here from other countries, they are here because of freedom and economic potential that they could build a business. And I think it's a great thing. So with that being said, God bless America. Hey, I want to talk about for just a second longer, if I could capture your attention. You know, Blake, he's an Eagle Scout. And so his brother's an Eagle Scout. And his other brother's an Eagle Scout. I raised 3 Eagle Scouts. And in that process, we learned a lot about respecting our nation. We learned about citizenship in the nation, citizenship in our community. We learned about personal finance. These are things that aren't taught in school. Really great things. And so proud of them. The Boy Scout troop putting up flags on Main Street here in Placerville, that we would go out every holiday, put up the flags in the morning, take them down in the evening. And it was such a great experience to do that with my kids and with the neighborhood boys and participate in that. So I still believe America's the greatest place in the world. It's the greatest place to build a business. It's the greatest place to build a family. And with that, have a happy Independence Day. Anything you'd like to add, Blake?
Thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love to visit with you. We offer free consultations and love to chat. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. God bless America.